When Greenpeace campaigners attempted to board a Russian offshore platform in September, they wanted to alert the world to what they see as the potential ecological disaster of drilling for oil in the Arctic.
The conditions are better now.
But it was the hardline stance of the Russian legal system, throwing the protesters in jail, that really got the world's attention.
And was there any particular reason you wanted to make detention? The Save the Arctic campaign? Wonderful.
So much so that millions have signed a petition to get the campaigners freed, and donations are flooding in.
So this is our warehouse here where we store all of our equipment.
At Greenpeace's London campaign headquarters, its executive director admits that putting the protesters behind bars gave the cause far more impetus than the initial protest itself.
We didn't actually aim to get the Arctic 30 put into nick, and I think all of them would have preferred their freedom rather than to spend 2 months in prison. But I think there's no doubt about it, people's awareness about what is happening in the Arctic, the threats from the oil industry wanting to go and drill in the Arctic, is now people globally are much more aware, and I think this is quite important.
One of the founders of Greenpeace says he hardly recognises the organisation he helped to launch.
It's almost as if Greenpeace is now taking on only campaigns that it can never win. They're never going to win against fossil fuels. I mean, to tell you the truth, if we adopted all of Greenpeace's proposals, it would be basically the end of modern civilization.
And the partner of Frank Hewitson, one of the protesters bailed by the Russians this week, has her doubts too.
I believe that he is working for a good cause and trying to do what he thinks is right. And I do think that direct action protest can help, but it has to be considered, you have to consider the consequences quite carefully. My campaign is to ensure that Frank and the other 29 people are actually released, not just on bail, but they actually get to go home. That's the campaign I'm interested in at the moment.
And the Arctic is for another day?
Well, I'm sure the Arctic can be saved after we've got these people out of prison.
What has happened to Greenpeace and its campaigners in Russia has brought the group's activities into sharper focus and is creating questions about whether the end still justifies the means. David Bowden, Sky News.